Wake up, it's the Coach Brickey Sports Show with the team that can give you what you know, what you need and what you want on the court. For football, the basketball, and every other sport. With Troy and DL and Dr. Carl Brinkley and Paul and the Coach Robert Brickey. It's time, get your coffee and get ready for the flow. Get ready for the Coach Brickey Sports Show. And get ready for the flow. And get ready for the flow.
And good morning to you, back again on another week, and we're excited about, first of all, let's talk about the weather, man. Yesterday was just fantastic. If you was out yesterday in this area of North Carolina, you can't have any complaints, really. It was just fabulous. This morning we have a high of 71. Looks like we have an overcast right now, with the high today of 85, so it's still not the way it was last week. We went a steamer on last week. But anyway, back for the Coach Brickey Sports Show. This is Brother Troy. I'm here in Studio C at the flagship station for the Widu Radio Network, 1600 AM, 99.7, and we are in the Studio C here. I'm with Reverend Carlton Brown, and also we have DL is on the line, and also we have the coach, who is a Fayetteville native, and you are a Duke basketball alum. He has coaching abilities. He's a financial expert and all that stuff. So anyway, good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Troy. Good to hear your voice, man. How you doing this morning?
I do well at this time.
All right. Good morning, DL and Reverend Brown.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
So, did anybody call Knicks Spurs in the finals?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. One person.
One person. That would be me. That was good. That was good. Yeah, well, you know, we saw what they did throughout the year, so figure if they beat them 5 out of 6, they ought to have their number, so they had a great chance. So it was good. Good.
That was an unbelievable series. The Western
It was
Conference
a great series. Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. So my only hope is that the finals are as good as the Western Conference finals were. And listen, Trey, look, New York, the city. I'm surprised they haven't burned New York down.
I know, right? They're going crazy.
Starving for a NBA championship, and so I'm sure all the cities are just ready to blow up with anticipation for this series.
Well, sir, the last time they won, I was in high school, 1970 and 1973. I was approaching my sophomore year, and then my senior year, and they beat my Lakers. And I don't like them, okay? So call me petty, but I don't care if they get swept by San Antonio Spurs, okay? And I hope Reverend Paul Matthews, wherever you are, I hope you hear this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But again, this is part of the season I hate, because you get to a point where you're gonna have a game every other day or every third day, and you're down to at a maximum of 7 games left. So then we get that stretch of summer where sports gets a little vague, and you have to hold on for NBA Summer League.
WNBA.
Well, I pay attention to college basketball. I don't think you had it. I mean, baseball. I don't think you had it in the thread. But I don't know what the Tar Heels did last night. If they won, they should be moving forth. I don't know what the score of that game was. I didn't see that, but I'm just kind of excited about it. I mean, these college baseball players, they be getting down.
Oh yeah, and so are they they're in the playoffs? Is it like the super regional?
Yeah, right. So though they were a number 5 seed, they are a number 5 seed, and they were playing their regional at Chapel Hill. So they got a pretty good team this year.
Is that a best of series?
Right. I don't know how that works, but if you lose one, then you got to go back and
Yeah, they have double elimination.
Right.
Double elimination.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think even right there in Fayetteville, Methodist College has had historically a very good baseball program. So you're right, man. A lot of good baseball in and around. And you think about this, baseball is everywhere. Because minor league baseball extends to a lot of communities. You don't get that with basketball or football.
Right. I was listening to this guy, Smith, used to play for Carolina. Matter of fact, he played for the Spurs, too. He was talking, he said, man, in New York, he said, there is nowhere to play baseball. So it has to be basketball,
Right.
That's not,
Really?
they don't have any place to play baseball. So, but still, it is a game that one can play with longevity. You can play up in your 40s baseball. It's a different kind of game, certainly. I never played any level of major league sports or amateur sports, but to tell me hitting that ball coming at you at 100 miles an hour is one of the most difficult things in all sports. That's very hard to do. And just think, anybody that hits it 3 out of 10 and get on base in your career, you're a major leaguer.
Major league, yeah, not that.
Right.
I'm a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer,
Very
right.
good major league. Yeah. Can you imagine? Has anybody ever stood in and into those batting cages and put the machine on high and try to hit a ball? Man, listen, I used to think I was a super athlete.
Okay.
So I stepped in there and I was like, man, I could hit, but I never hit a fast pitch baseball before, and I think I took 15 swings. I think I foul tipped one.
Wow.
And I couldn't get the bat on any. I was like, man, it made me realize how difficult it was, and then I have a greater appreciation for what the guys that do it well.
Right. So that hand-eye coordination is really,
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I think they kind of did some of the guys wrong when they were talking about, them being juiced up, because if you got a juiced up pitcher throwing a ball to a juiced up hitter, I mean, you would think they would cancel each other out. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Speaking of juiced up, did anybody watch that enhanced games? Y'all even know what I'm talking about?
What game?
I think the enhanced games.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So somebody put up a ton of money it was a track event, and they had you could compete if you were on steroids.
Oh.
And it had this big
Wow.
It had they had big prize money, and like if you broke a world record, there was a whole bunch more money involved. I mean, they went all in, and I was like, and it was televised on some streaming service.
Wow.
I watched a little bit of it, but what happened was the athletes who were natural, because they had a combination, you didn't have to be on steroids. The athletes that were natural won most of the competition over the enhanced athletes. So whoever put all the money in lost big time.
Wow.
Wow.
Because I think they were thinking that this was going to take off, and this was, they would eventually be big time TV and maybe evolving sport. But I think they lost big time on that one.
Wow. Well, I guess the thing is that you do all that steroid thing, you get hurt. You wind up hurting yourself, and the long range effects on that. From what I've read, that's not something I'd want to do. But let's be honest, no matter what your profession is, if you believe you could drink something or take a pill and be better at it. A writer or actor or whatever. Come on, I mean, who's not going to try to cheat a little bit?
Right. Listen, I cast no stones.
You're right.
If I was 20 and a big contract was on the line, who knows what decision I would have made. But I trust me, this is not judgment.
Definitely. Well,
let's get to the finals.
All right, let's talk about it.
So who DL, who you got and why?
Right now, I got to look at the injury report. The Knicks did have one of their players supposed to be injured. Unfortunately, I'd love to see not Villanova, but I am going to talk about them. I remember Brunson, Bridges, and then Hart. And then they had the other one, but they switched him out to Minnesota. They beat Carolina back in, was it 16? So think about the headline. They all playing with the Knicks. And then if they beat the Spurs. But the biggest problem for the Knicks is how could they stop Victor? And I don't know if they have the center to do that. I love to see the Knicks win it. But I'm gonna lean towards the Spurs because of the big man in the middle.
Pastor Brown, who you got?
Well, I'm gonna roll with the Spurs. But listen now,
please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash.
It's not a given.
If you do not
it's
know
not
your
a given
PIN,
because
please
New
enter
York is
pound
playing
or
really,
hash.
really well. All right, and they have been winning by a wide
Thank you.
margin. They're going in with a lot of records, and so I'm looking for San Antonio. I think Castle is going to neutralize Brunson. He held my boy in check in OKC, SGA. So I think if he could hold down SGA, he can hold down Brunson. So I'm looking for Spurs to win this thing, and I don't think it's going 7 either.
All right. What about you, Troy?
Well, I've told you guys I'm in my feelings. So I'm going all the way back to 1973. I remember those games. God, I hated the Knicks. They beat the Lakers. And then, when, Dave the Butcher and what was that, Walt Frazier and, Earl of Pearl, he has a lot of history and all that other, but, because he went to Winston-Salem State. But, no, I just, look. I'm in my feelings, and I can be very petty. No, I hope they sweep them. I don't want them to win that one game.
Look, this sounds too personal, Troy.
I know, right?
It is personal. They beat the Lakers when I was a kid. I watched those games. I was like, oh my God, I want the Lakers to win so bad. So we're talking about over 50 years. Look, I've been holding this grudge for over 50 years.
53 years, huh?
I want it to be over. I want them to get beat. I don't want them to win.
All right. Look, I think we understand how you feel about this. I'm going to take the Spurs, and I hate to put it this way. I can't trust Carl Anthony Towns. And I just don't think he shows up in big moments. And there's times he disappears. And he's just not consistent enough for me. And he's going to have to play great basketball for at least 6 games. And I'm not sure he can do it. So I'm going to take the Spurs in 6.
Okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
Well, we'll see. So, but this should be, but look, did you see the price of the tickets in New York?
This is crazy.
Have you seen that, Coach?
I have not.
$17,000, almost $20,000 if you want to sit in the first 2 rows.
First 2 rows is over 500,000. What you talking about?
Oh, really? So, oh man, I'm talking about this. It's ridiculous.
Over 500,000 to sit in the first 2 rows. I mean, what?
I know. And look, it's just to get in the building.
Just to get in the building. That's it.
It's insane.
It's insane, man. I mean, they say You can pay up to $1 million. Tickets are being sold for up to $1 million to go to the New York games, which is just crazy.
Now, no, I mean, I don't have that kind of money. I don't know about DL and now, Coach, I know you have that kind of money to watch that stuff, but I mean, really?
It's ridiculous.
Look, sure, I'll receive that. So, well, you know, think about this. Let's say you had those kinds of resources.
Right.
And, you know, $500,000 is not a big deal.
That's true.
I mean, if you think about it, you want to be at a moment in time in history. So what's the value of that?
Oh, no, look, if you have the money, you know, why not? I mean, it just, you know, it's like buying a Happy Meal for a billionaire, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a Happy Meal. I mean, but that's what you have it for, then, to bring yourself enjoyment anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like,
Absolutely.
it's like the World Cup. I mean, I'm going to one of the World Cup games. One of my friends says, it's, you know, it's once in a lifetime. Go for it. Why not? So, I mean, but that's so much different than paying $500,000 to go watch a game, though. That's crazy.
To one game. That's right.
One game, right. Yeah.
Not game 7, just one game.
Well, you know, I think this is going to be a great series. You know, the energy. You know, San Antonio's got a history. You know, they've had more recent success at winning the championship, and you know, when they had Tim Duncan and Dave Robinson, you know, they won a couple titles. So that's recent history. But so imagine the Knicks. Imagine the energy coming out of New York for this series. So, you know, I've got some friends in New York. I don't even call them because they were talking to death about, you know, now that the Knicks are in, they think it's all over. And so, I love the fact that there's so much hype and so much passion and energy surrounding these games. It makes it exciting for the fans.
So, in other words, they're acting like Dallas Cowboy fans.
I think
I wasn't going to say it.
I think they're past Dallas Cowboy fans at this time. But listen,
Oh, really? Past? Oh, my God.
Listen,
They
but
need some drugs.
they have a right to be so excited right now with the way this team is playing. They're really playing good basketball. The truth be told, they're really been playing the best basketball in the playoffs. But they're gonna run into a buzzsaw when they run into San Antonio, because I don't think they will have an answer to Wembanyama, and he's the X factor in all of this. And so I just think, and the thing I like about Wembanyama, he has the old school mentality. He wants to win, and he says it. He doesn't hide how he feels. He said, you know, he's playing like his life depends on it. He wants it bad. He said, I want to win everything there is to win in the basket. So when you got that kind of determination and that mindset and the skill set to go with it, it's going to be hard to stop him. So, you know, and I don't see Anthony Towns stopping him. So I don't know, man. I think he has the will to win, and I think he's going to will them to win. So that's just my thoughts.
You know what I love about him? He can say all of those things you just said in a way where it's not arrogant.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like, even when they asked him about whether or not he should have been MVP, he said, "Yeah, I should have been MVP." But the way he said it, you know, it came across as not arrogant. It was just matter of fact.
Yeah.
You know, he was almost he was very measured. You know, not like I was, you know. But so I love his confidence.
Right.
I love everything about that kid, man. He's just such a unique. I'm gonna use the word specimen because
alien.
We've just never seen anything like him before. So it's fun to watch.
Well, some of the guys could be aliens, man.
My thing with the Spurs is that, you know, they got David Robinson in '89 after he had to stay in the Navy for 2 years. And then when he got injured, I think it was in 96, 97 school years, the Spurs tanked to get Tim Duncan. And then they are the originators of load management. George Popovich started load management. Look where it is now. They tanked 2 years ago to Wembanyama, and that's when, you know, the Hornets should have got Anthony Davis and Wembanyama 2 years ago. Now, Brandon Miller's going to be good, second pick of the 24th draft. But that's the only thing I don't like about the Spurs. That's why I'm going with the Knicks.
It's the organization.
Yeah, it's tanking and load management.
Okay, so but everybody tanks, and not everybody's in load management. So what do you say to that? I mean, you think about look at the not the Wizards. What's the Washington team?
Utah.
No, the team in Washington, not the Wizards.
Yeah,
it used to be the Bullets. I'm sorry, it is the Wizards. So, but they tanked, and they got did they get the number 1 pick 2 years ago? And then they are, so they tanked their way into. They're going to have a nice pick this year, and they'll probably be decent because Trae Young sat out. He didn't even play last year. So
that's what I'm saying. And they follow the Spurs lead. When they think when you think you got a franchise-changing player, all right, we're going to go on out and tank. You notice nobody tanked in 2001 to get Kwame Brown, so it was a bad year. It was a bad draft. But I like to see the Knicks, like Pastor Brown said, in fairness to Karl Anthony Towns, now he's this young man he's playing against it's a height difference, and it's going to be hard for him to stop Wemby. The only thing Karl can do is if he can get that outside jumper going, stay out of foul trouble, and we'll see where it goes. But the Knicks got to uphill battle. It is what it is, and the only way they can beat the Spurs is the Spurs. They have youth. The Spurs are a young team. If they don't get caught up and turn the ball over, they're going to have to turn their defense up because what's the young man that like to turn the ball over? Vassell? Vassell's a turnover machine. So, yeah. So,
but he only did it because Fox was out, and so he had to play the point. Point is not his regular position, so that's why he was turning it over. Since Fox came back, he had 1 turnover in Game 5, and I think he had 2 in Game 6. So, I don't think it will be a problem.
I think Fox is not healthy. Fox is not healthy, and because his game is usually built on speed, and he usually just blows by people. He gets up and down the floor. And you just don't see that. I know he's been having some ankle problems, but to me it's evident. And I thought maybe they would have the last series may not have gone to 7 games if he was healthy, because he makes that much of a difference. But when you don't get transition points and paint touches the way he can do it, then that takes away from your team. So he looks like he's not struggling, but he's not 100%.
He isn't, but again, he showed up in Game 7. He really helped them in Game 7. Yeah. He had some clutch points and some clutch passes. So, I think, he got 4 days rest. He'll be all right.
Right. Well, look at, we need to go to a break here. The Coach Brickey Sports Show. Coach is on the line along with DL, and here in Studio C, we have our most able producer, Reverend Carl Brinkley. He is a Dallas Cowboy fan. He doesn't say that much about basketball. I know Reverend Matthews is not in here. He's a Knicks fan. I'm waiting for him. I got something for him. We'll be back with more following this.
Hurricane season begins today. Forecasters with NOAA's National Weather Service are predicting a below-normal hurricane season for the Atlantic Basin this year. The United States says it has bombed radar and drone sites in Iran after Tehran shot down an American drone over the weekend. Iran then said it launched a strike of its own, and Kuwait reported incoming fire today. Malaysia has begun enforcing its ban on children under 16 having a social media account. It's part of a global push to enhance online safety for young users. Carteret County Sheriff's Office is saying goodbye to their longtime leader, Sheriff Asa Buck. Happened over the weekend. Forbes' annual financial report card for private, nonprofit colleges and universities is putting a spotlight on how well schools can manage their finances. More than 250,000 North Carolinians will be kicked off Medicaid next year. Mike Trayley, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. The Heart Walk and Talk for Seniors is coming up on June 2nd. It is at 10 a.m. at the Tokay Senior Fitness Center track at 328 Hamilton Street in Fayetteville. You'll get valuable information about heart health and walk the track. Reminder that beginning June 1st, the Cumberland County Department of Social Services will offer free box fans to eligible residents through the Fan Giveaway program to help families stay safe during the summer heat. Residents may qualify if they meet income requirements and have a household member under age 2, over the age of 60, or with a heat-sensitive medical condition. Visit DSS at 1225 Ramsey Street in Fayetteville or call 910-677-2388, or you can call 910-677-2389 to get more information about the fans that are, again, eligible for some residents. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
It's a warm and muggy start to our Monday. Temperatures in the 60s with highs today making it well into the 80s. Our chance for showers and storms pretty isolated and confined to areas far south of I-40. We'll see temperatures then dropping as we head into the overnight thanks to humidity levels dropping. We'll be in the 50s and lower 60s. And by Tuesday, not quite as warm. A mix of clouds and sunshine with low humidity, highs 75 to 80. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the NCN Weather Center.
Hey, you looking for your next car? Start at Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville. At Bryan Honda, we make buying a car simple, stress-free, and affordable. Whether you're searching for a brand new Honda or a quality pre-owned vehicle, we've got a huge selection to fit every lifestyle and every budget. From fuel-efficient Civics and Accords to family-friendly CRVs and Pilots, Bryan Honda has the perfect vehicle waiting for you, and with our friendly, knowledgeable sales team, you'll never feel pressured. Need financing? No problem. Bryan Honda works with multiple lenders to get you approved fast with competitive rates that make sense for you. Plus, our certified service department is here long after the sale, keeping your Honda running strong for years to come. Drive smarter, drive happier, and drive home today from Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville, or you can visit online, bryanhonda.com. Your road starts here. Nobody beats a Bryan Honda deal, not now, not ever.
Hi, I'm Mitch Colvin, president of Colvin Funeral Home and Crematory. For over 50 years, our family has provided professional services with dignity, compassion, and respect with families during a time of need. We realize funeral services are as unique as those we're honoring. We offer a variety of affordable, quality services tailored to meet each family's needs, specializing in burial and cremation services. Proudly servicing Cumberland, Robeson, Hope, Harnett, Bladen, and surrounding counties from 2 locations, 2010 Murchison Road, Fayetteville, 1904 Elizabethtown Road, Lumberton. For more information, visit our website, www.hmcolvin.com.
Unity Picnic in the Park. Join me, Councilwoman Brenda McNair, in Communities for the 4th Annual Unity in the Park. Celebration on Sunday, June 7, 2026, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Lake Rim Park in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Experience a day of joy and camaraderie as we celebrate our vibrant community. Delight in live music from local bands, engage in a kickball tournament, or explore our artisan market featuring unique handcrafted goods. Savor delicious offerings from gourmet food trucks and enjoy family-friendly activities in our kids' zone. Learn from our firefighters and police officers interacting with the community.
Hey, Cumberland County. Looking for a job with purpose? Cumberland County government is hiring. We offer great career opportunities where you can serve your community and grow your future. Explore openings and apply today at cumberlandcountync.gov/jobs. Need help? The county's recruitment team is here to guide you every step of the way. Visit cumberlandcountync.gov/jobs to apply to join the Cumberland County team.
Angelic Flourish Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville, is family owned and operated, proudly serving the Fayetteville area. Whatever the occasion, Angelic Flourish Creations can create a floral arrangement or gift for any occasion or holiday. Angelic Flourish Creations has prompt, friendly, and caring service. If you want to say you care, you can always say it with flowers from Angelic Flourish Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville. Call 910-485-2205.
And 37 minutes after the hour here, we have back to Coach Brickey Sports Show, live from Studio C. And Coach, I'm tossing it back to you.
One of the things I wanted to ask before we went to the break was the Knicks went 12-2 in the playoffs, and they've gotten plenty of rest. And the Spurs just had a knockdown, drag-out 7-game series. Do you think rest is going to affect this series at all?
I don't think so. I think it helped New York because, except for Mitchell Robinson, who somehow messed up his pinky during this time off, I think, sometimes it's not just the physical. I think it's the mental thing sometimes that wins championship. You go back to Michael Jordan. He had that mindset, that he had that killer instinct. It's the same thing Wemby has. And I think that, with this 4-day rest that they had and the grueling match they had with OKC has prepared them for the Knicks. So it's some advantage. We'll see how Knicks come out in the first game, having rested all these 10 days, and they won't be quite as sharp. And if San Antonio jump on them early and can win the first game going away, I don't think they're going to choke off like Cleveland did when Cleveland went up 22 in the fourth quarter and gave that game back, and that doomed Cleveland. So I don't know, man. I think the rest is helpful. But the will to win, I think, is on San Antonio's side. That's just my thoughts.
So the first game is Wednesday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Right.
So San Antonio will get a little rest.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what about this? So the Knicks have won 11 straight games in the playoffs.
Right.
Do you think that streak continues? I mean, that's or does, like Pastor Brown just said, does that break, that extended break, interrupt their rhythm?
Yeah, they're not winning that first game in San Antonio. I know that much. San Antonio is a host team, so they got to go in San Antonio and win the first game. I don't think so.
They're giving San Antonio a 4.5 edge in the betting. However, Coach, now, because you do this professionally, but I've read about this. Sometimes teams that go through all of that, the grueling matches, and it's not about rest, they're more focused because they just came out of something. And the ones that have been sitting down for a while, they kind of like, actually it's only been 4 days, but they're a little rusty. You know what I mean? They come back.
Right.
They got to get in the groove, so to speak, whereas these guys just pick up and keep going.
Right. It can go either way. I just know you think about the participants on both sides. They really strong wills to win. Not this is what I love about this matchup is this is just not about basketball.
Right.
Brunson and Wemby, and these guys have a will to win. They compete.
Yes, sir.
And, so I looked at the team stats throughout the playoffs, and statistically they're almost even in almost every category.
Right.
Especially on the defensive end, and I think that's where the game is going to be won, to be honest. And if Wemby stays out of foul trouble, he just has so much impact on the game that I think it's going to be hard for the Knicks to get around his. I don't think you can get enough point paints to make a difference. That means you got to make a lot of jump shots. This means you're going to take a lot of threes. So that means you got to be hot, which is hard to do in a 4-game series. I mean, a 7-game series.
7-game. Well, they have New York has the Mr. Clutch, Brunson. So, listen, that young man is a great player. But like you said, you got to get in the paint and you got to get around or over Wemby, and that's going to be difficult. So Wemby's really the X factor. He's the change agent in all of this, and so it's going to be challenging. I think New York will play well, but I think at the end of the day, San Antonio takes a cup home, man.
So, Coach, we're going to talk a little bit about. I see you on your page. You have you sent us somebody. We lost somebody. Talk about college basketball. Coach Deal, are you guys there? So that's what happened. Okay, may have lost that. Because that's the deal there, Reb. College basketball is coming up as well. And, there was a congressional hearing talking about the NIL stuff. I mean, look, I agree. Now, look, I want the youngsters to make some money. But if we're going to call them student athletes, the operative word here being student, right. it can't be a farm system, just straight up farm system, whereas these youngsters are not getting any kind of education at all, and they're going through these universities.
Right. But the flip side was before all of this NIL came, they were abusing these kids, so to speak.
Correct. Right.
Right. So now, I think there needs to be regulation, just to be honest. I mean, these young men, I'm like you, I hope they get a chance to improve their families and their circumstances, but they need to learn also. There has to be a balance. And so if the schools aren't going to regulate themselves, then an outside entity, we just need to be careful of getting government into everything, man. I mean, so I hope that they're able to self-regulate rather than trying to bring the government into it. But I think there needs to be some clear guidelines that guide the process. Because right now, all this transferring that's taking place, man, technically you can move from you can transfer every year. You could play in 4 different schools, which is crazy.
You're not getting an education like that, Coach. So, but when I'm told, Coach, is about the real thing is about the agents. What the agents are doing, they're making big time money off of these college youngsters, whereas they're in the pros, they wouldn't be able to get those kind of percentages. At least that's what I read, Coach. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know about the percentages, but so I was just around some coaches last week, and I heard several of them mention when we're talking about recruiting, you're talking about agents. So it was almost like they weren't talking to a young man or a young woman. It was like you got to go through the agent.
Right.
I was like, even at a high school level, I was like, oh my God, this thing has gotten out of control.
It is.
And you're right. Matter of fact, so I met a guy here in town in Charlotte who is an agent, and he represents high school kids. And I heard a couple of deals he made. So one of the kids, I was at a workout. One of the kids I'm not sure where he transferred from, but he's transferring to the University of Maryland, and he signed a 2-year, $5.2 million deal.
Just crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, but I'm told that these agents at that level are getting more money, percentage-wise, tremendously more than if they were signing a professional
athlete. Okay.
Oh yeah. Because look, pros are more sophisticated. They know the game. They know because they are around other pros who talk about these things. You think about these kids; they've never been in this situation, and you think now, an agent used to represent guys transitioning from college to pros. Now they're representing kids transferring from high school to college. And think about how many more kids that is, how many more opportunities.
That's true.
That is, then, yeah. So it's way more kids they can represent now, young people. And so, again, where there's the money to be made, there's going to be some shortcuts taken. So that's what I'm concerned about is kids getting in bad situations with bad people and getting taken advantage of.
Right. Well, at the collegiate level, I know in the thread, Dia wanted to talk about his entry into the ACC. Dia?
Oh, yeah, just to follow up what y'all talked about, the basketball players and the Neal football as well. Yeah, they definitely going to need some oversight. And I agree with you, Pastor Brown. We don't want government involved, but this is going to get out of control. But, Coach Brickey sent us some photos. Coach, you were in Durham at some type of function over the weekend?
Yeah, so Coach K has an annual fantasy camp.
Okay.
And what it is it's an adult camp. So you have to be 35 and up. The cost is $15,000. And they put on one heck of an experience for these participants. It's a fantastic, and I know it sounds crazy, $15,000 to play basketball for adults for a week. But the money goes to the Emily Krzyzewski Center, which is Coach K's mom. So it's a fantastic event. But go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, but Chief, you got to spend it. But, you brought back some memories because I was born in 69. So back in the 70s when you were in elementary school, on Fridays, ACC tournament, you turned everything off. So when I started watching ACC basketball in 78, 79, I didn't have a favorite team, but I was raised is that Carolina was nice and everybody else was evil. So being from Mooresville, North Carolina,
that's true.
Our mascot was the Blue Devils. So I gravitated towards Duke. And I recall liking Gene Banks, who was from Chicago, Mike Jaminski, who had a good NBA career, passing, good big man. And I remember Bill Foster was the coach, and you had a Bill Foster in Clemson. So I was really fascinated with all the ACC teams because you had Lefty Drizel in Maryland, Carl Tacey at Wake Forest, and then you had, before Jim Valvano came, Norm Sloan at State, and then Georgia Tech, I can't forget, I don't remember the guy named before, Bobby Crimmins. And then I remember Maryland, the Albert King and Buck Williams from Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. So I was just fascinated. And I even though I was a Duke fan for those 1 or 2 years because I jumped on the Carolina bandwagon in I think it was 80 when Al Wood and Dudley Bradley. So you just brought back a bunch of memories yesterday when you sent that picture out. Because to me, ACC basketball is king now. Of course, UCLA was winning in the 70s when I started watching it, but that was just brought back a lot of memories, and I missed that ACC basketball because those were good rivalries, and I just remember the players, Frank Johnson, so I just wanted to put that out there.
This would be a good question for you, Dia. And I'm like you. I like the fact when the rivalries were important. And I know expansion and money come into play, but what do you think about how the leagues have expanded? Not just ACC, but Big Ten and all the other conferences. What do you think about the expansion?
Yeah, it's to me the big UCLA being in the Big Ten and USC being in the Big Ten. I don't know why the Pac-10 the Pac-12 couldn't stay intact out in California. That's the third largest economy, but and they're spending a lot of money. Cal and Stanford flying back to ACC schools, and they stay on the East Coast for like a whole week when they have to play on a Thursday and Saturday nights. But with the advent of Zoom, they can handle it. But they have to be looking at their financial, the toll is taken on them financial as a student when you go to those schools and play in the ACCC. But, I mean, I miss the old school ACC, but I understand expansion is going to happen. And it's getting out of hand. So me and Troy, we talked about this. And Troy, my only thing is Carolina and NC State should always pay twice a year. And, we could get state legislatures involved because, they have mandated in football that East Carolina has to play an ACC school every year, so I could get them involved in that.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's just that.
Could anybody name all the schools in the ACC right off the top of your head?
No, right now it's 2 minutes for me.
2 minutes, right.
Now, back in the day, I remember them. But, see, I remember when Tom McMillan and John Roach played for South Carolina. And, of course, they made John Roach the ACC Player of the Year, which I think it should have gone to Charlie Scott. Because Charlie Scott was an academic all-star as well. But even sports writers now, if you go back and dig up some stuff, that was Jim Crow era. And Charlie Scott out of New York, Lombard Institute right down the street there in Scotland County.
Right.
And he came to Chapel Hill, and Dean Smith just did a marvelous job taking the restaurants and everything. He said, look, it ain't going to be like that. We're not putting up with that. And, but I had a front row seat because I'm old enough to have watched all that happen. That's why I became a fan of Carolina, because they played people that look like me, Right. And those other schools refused to do it until I was an adult. So, but that's how it was then, back in the day.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how sports has impacted society. You think about integration. Athletics plays a large part in integration, and so it's amazing how that continues to play out in our lives, and how it shaped much of what we thought, at one time.
Yeah, you can dig up that old story of Southern Cal and Alabama, and because Alabama like, we ain't playing no black players, and then Southern Cal beat them 42-21.
Change their mind.
And it's like, and because but the thing was, the coach was like, okay, I don't have a problem with it, but it was the governor, the whole state was like, no, we just don't want any black players, and so he said, man, look, if we don't get any black players, that's why we're going to get our behinds beat the way Southern Cal. But, Southern Cal at that time, man, they had that backfield, man, was always just awesome. They would just run over you, that's just the OJs, and everybody came out of that. Right. It was awesome. But 1970 again, so, that's the way it was. Again, I was in high school at that time, so all these stories were big stories.
Mm-hmm. All right, so everybody had the Spurs winning. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Nobody had the Knicks winning. That's that's unusual. Usually, except Paul again. In Paul's absence, we probably need to talk a little trash about the Knicks.
Yeah, but Paul's like me. He's in his feelings for them. I'm in my feelings against them.
Okay, the next time you see, I bet you got on some Knicks gear. Jersey. He gonna have on some Knicks gear.
Oh, he was talking smack.
He gonna wear it until the finals is over.
I saw him over the weekend. He was talking trash. I was hoping he would be in here today.
Right.
So look, man, let's not forget about Carolina, man. Do you know the hockey, the Hurricanes? The Stanley Cup?
Stanley Cup Finals, yes, sir.
Look, congratulations. I usually follow them when they get to the playoffs, but I just haven't followed them for whatever reason this year. But congratulations. And I think they've been playing well too. I followed them enough to know they've been. Sometimes you struggle.
They're going into the Stanley Cup Finals 12-1. That's the best record going into the finals ever. No team has gone into the Stanley Cup Final with only one loss, and that's what they're going in. But Vegas been playing good also, so that will be a good series. But Atlanta's going in with Carolina's going in with the momentum. So hopefully that will be a good series. But I think the betting is on Vegas right now because of how they have played. But 12-1, best record going into the Stanley Cup Finals ever in history. So that should bode for something.
Well, it kicks off tomorrow in Carolina. So we had the home ice advantage.
Right.
2 games at home,
Right.
2 in Vegas, then you got back at Carolina, back at Vegas, and you end up at Carolina if you get to a Game 7. So maybe the home ice advantage would help us.
Listen, they've lost their first games for the last how many years? So hopefully they change that record where they lose the first games in the playoffs. But again, they did, and they came back and went 4-1 in this last series. So hopefully they learn their lesson and they'll come out hot and just win.
Well, Vegas won it in 2023. And they still got a number of players on that roster from that team. So sometimes having the experience of having been there and one that what to expect, so that's one of those factors that people overlook at times.
Well, I was talking to Reb. He said it's how many days before the
100 days before the NFL starts. Now, is A.J. Brown gone to New England? Is he? Today's June the 1st. They said on June the 1st he's eligible to be traded, and so everybody thinks he's going to be traded to New England. Anybody believes that that's going to happen today?
They talked about it back then. I would say so, because that means the deal had been in the works.
Oh, yeah. They've been negotiating for a while, but they say it's not a done deal yet, but I think he's gone.
Yeah, I do too. I think New England thinks they're in their window of opportunity, which I think they are, and so they got to add pieces while they got to strike while the iron is hot. So
right.
I think it's a good trade for them. They need a threat on the outside.
Right.
Well, look, guys, we got the last minute here, Coach. I'll let you wrap things up.
D.O., you have a point?
Oh, no, go ahead. We'll talk, but it can wait the next week.
Okay. Well, listen, hey, I just appreciate you guys. I was going to say we need to put some chicken wings on the sound, but everybody's got the Spurs winning. So, we'll have to... we'll have to figure out something else. So, hey, enjoy, y'all. Widu family, we love you. Have a fantastic day.
Appreciate it. I believe Dia owes me a bologna sandwich or something. Now I forget how that works, but anyway, I think I'm going to have to drive to him to get it. But anyway, appreciate you. Again, out of here, Studio C, and we have Reverend Carl Brickey, our producer, on today, and he is smiling because he believes that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win something this year. Take care, guys. Have a great one.
All right.